How to start an Airbnb management business, also known as a holiday property management company.
From two guys who built and sold a multi-million-dollar Airbnb company.
So who are we and why should you listen to us? We built and sold a multi-million-dollar revenue Airbnb property management business in Australia in under 2 years. In total during that time, we managed around 60 properties and outperformed the market in just about every single metric and category.
Since selling our business, we've now decided to help others who are interested in the same business model. The difference is we provide the real, no BS information on how to actually make money doing this business. So in this video, we'll cover the main points for you to actually start, scale, and sell an Airbnb management business. So in this, we're going to cover who the business is actually suitable for, the different models of Airbnb businesses, and how to actually acquire properties and clients.
We're also going to cover building a team for your business, automating your business, some of the rules, regulations, and laws that you need to be aware of, scaling and preparing your business for a sale and exit at the end.
So who is this business actually suitable for? So an Airbnb business is suitable for three types of people. One, a real estate agent who currently does sales and long-term rental, who's looking to add more revenue to their portfolio using short-term rental. Two, a seasoned Airbnb veteran who has maybe one or two properties that they manage themselves, who wants to turn this from a side business into a fully fledged short-term rental management company. And three, someone with business experience who's looking to get into the short-term rental space, who has funding and maybe a background in accommodation, hotels, anything like that.
So let's talk about the different Airbnb management business models. So there are two main models of Airbnb management businesses outside of purchasing properties and managing them yourselves. The two main models are, number one, Airbnb property management. This is known as the traditional Airbnb management company. This is the main model for Airbnb management and operates similarly to how a long-term rent roll works in a real estate company. This is also the same model that we use to start, build, scale, and eventually sell our Airbnb management company. In this model, property owners come to you and you manage absolutely everything from start to finish of their property and operate it as a short-term accommodation, also known as an Airbnb. The property owner basically hands you the keys to their property and you take care of absolutely everything while taking a fee, which is normally around 20 to 25% of booking revenue. Then the property owner just sits back and relaxes while money appears in their account. This model is sometimes referred to as co-hosting an Airbnb property, but as a fully fledged management business, it's a little bit more involved. The second model of an Airbnb management business is subletting, also known as Airbnb Arbitrage. The profit you make in this business model isn't just a flat percentage of booking revenue. The way it works is the revenue that you're able to generate as a short-term rental versus what you pay the landlord ends up being your profit, minus the expenses that are associated with the Airbnb itself. In this case, generally you're taking on a little bit more risk because you're liable for the rent and also for other costs like utilities and often furnishing the home. So this model does come with a bit more risk. It can work pretty well in some markets though. You just need to be aware of the possible pitfalls and the liabilities that you might have.
How to acquire clients and properties to manage. So without other properties, you don't actually have a business. Our main skill when we were getting started was our ability to actually acquire clients and properties through our various marketing and sales strategies. Here are some different ways you can find property owners depending on your current situation.
So just a quick note, for us to discuss all the different ways that we get properties would be a multiple hour video. So we don't have time to go through all of that, but we are going to go through 7 ways which you can acquire clients and properties to manage for your Airbnb business. So we reserve some of our best strategies for our private group, which is free to join at bnbfastlane.com. In there we discuss some of our more specific strategies and how we go about them to acquire properties.
If you're already running a real estate agency, you can actually convert some of your long-term rental clients into Airbnb clients. If you're already running a long-term rental agency, you've probably already spoken to owners who are interested in running the Airbnb option. Often you may lose these clients if you can't offer this service. When starting a short-term rental management side of your business, these are the first people you would like to contact. This can be as simple as just giving them a call, sending out a mass email, just letting everyone know that now you offer short-term rental. This is an easy sell for a lot of owners because a lot of them probably already want to use their property. Plus, with the added revenue from Airbnb, it's a no-brainer. Word of mouth and family and friends. If you have family and friends that are already interested in potentially running an Airbnb, these are the first people most people start with when they're looking to start an Airbnb company. These are often the easiest properties to manage because you already know the owner, there's already a set expectation, and you know the area.
Classified ads and online classified ads. Once you've decided you want to offer Airbnb management services, You can start creating and posting ads in your local newspaper or on online versions like Gumtree, Craigslist, or what your country's equivalent is. Facebook Marketplace is another good area that you can do this as well. Simply create an ad, let people know the services you're offering, post the ad, and see who comes along. You'll be surprised that some people are actively looking for these sort of services. Posting on social media. Social media is another great way to let your network know about the services that you're offering. You can post on your own social media profiles, or you can run ads on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and others. The best part about this is you can also target the specific areas in which you want to manage properties as an Airbnb business.
Contacting landlords directly. Often you can actually find the contact details of landlords who are looking to rent their homes as long-term. From here, you just get in contact with them and offer them the service of Airbnb management. Again, it doesn't have to be rental arbitrage, which they may be wary of. This is more of a partnership. If they are set on having someone rent the property for a year on a lease, you can also do this in the rental arbitrage model, although it is easier to get started with the property management performance model. Whether you are doing the rental arbitrage model or the performance model, the best properties to find are the ones that are already furnished. This is not something that you want to be doing yourself. Another model that's not as popular is to actually walk the streets and start knocking on doors, start having conversations with homeowners. This may be considered a bit of an old school method, and it's certainly not the most fun if you've never done it before, but this is a great way to get in front of owners, having conversations and actually fleshing out if people are interested in doing short-term rental in that area. Simply ask if they are the homeowner. If they're renting, they can't really help you. But if you're in front of the homeowner, ask if they are interested in possibly doing Airbnb management. Depending on the area, a lot of these people would own one or two other properties. They may be getting an okay yield there, but they might be more inclined to doing short-term rental if you can deliver better results. They may also be about to move away or interstate. They might be going on holidays for 6 months. You really don't know what people are doing until you actually have a chat with them.
Another way you can generate clients is to actually build a professional website for your company and start running traffic to it. If you're willing to invest more time and money into building a full brand around your business, then building a great website and somewhere that people can contact you about those services is an absolute must. Getting traffic to that website can be the hard part though, and this is where most people struggle, particularly around getting qualified leads to their website. We discuss tons of different ways to do that inside our community at bnbfastlane.com. You can just head there, join up for free, and ask us any questions you've got, and we'll help you out. Building a team for your Airbnb management business. As your B&B business grows and you acquire more properties to manage, you simply won't have time to do everything yourself, so you need to start outsourcing work and building a team. Your goal here should be that as revenue grows from the rental in your properties, you should be outsourcing more and more tasks to various team members within your business. You want to be working on your business and growing your business, not in your business. Let's discuss some of the key people that you're going to want to have inside your Airbnb management business. We provide a lot more information at bnbfastlane.com, and we can also show you our entire org chart that we had within our business as we grew, scaled, and eventually sold that.
So the first staff member you're going to need is obviously the cleaners. This is the most important one. A lot of people, especially when they're just managing their property or maybe one or two, they'll have like a one-man band cleaner. As you scale, you just simply won't be able to use these people. We recommend, even at the start, to use a professional cleaning company. This is someone who handles all the linens, all the soap, all the amenities. You don't want to do any of this stuff. This is something you want to outsource from the beginning so you can actually focus on getting more clients and getting a better result. It's 100% worth it to pay a little bit more to have an actual company cleaning the properties. The money that you save in reliability, back-to-back bookings, all of these sort of things is much more important than having your friend clean the property, unfortunately. It may cost a little bit more to use a company, but it is absolutely worth it, especially if they can handle linens and they can handle the sundries. Number two, the property manager. Yes, in the beginning, you're going to be doing a lot of the work, a lot of the day-to-day checks. Once you get to around 5 properties, you're going to want to look at hiring a property manager. This is someone, even if it's part-time to begin with, who can handle a lot of the day-to-day stuff that is going to drag you down. This is doing the daily checks, dealing with the guests, basically anything that might slow you down and stop you from getting more and more clients, because that is the focus. The more time you have spare yourself, the more you can focus on actually getting more clients and building a much bigger business. And for the property manager, their job and salary will grow as your business grows. So it's better for everyone.
Number 3 is the maintenance team. We strongly recommend taking the time to get your maintenance team in place even before starting to grow and scale your business. This is going to save you a lot of headache as you get bigger. The most common services that you want to have available are things like a general handyman, a plumber, an electrician, someone for pools if you're in an area that has a lot of pools, garden maintenance, things like that. You just want to be able to flip through your phone, have people on call whenever an issue arises, or schedule things in advance so that they're ready for guests. Number 4 is a bookkeeper and a good accountant. Doing the books for almost everyone sucks. It's no fun, it takes a lot of time, and everything needs to add up. This just simply isn't worth your time, and it's better as soon as you can afford it to pay someone to handle all these sort of tasks. So once your business is up and running and you've got a few properties, you've got revenue coming in, get a bookkeeper to keep track of everything, and then have your accountant having a look over everything, making sure everything's in line for tax and things like that.
The last one on the list is having a security team. Having an on-call security team can be a great asset in the rare instances you have to deal with problem guests. We always like to have a 24/7 security team that we can call at any time to deal with guests as needed. It's not often that these things happen, but every now and again they do, as all hosts would know. As you grow, there'll be more members of the team that come on board. These are just the main ones as you're getting started.
Again, if you want more information about who to hire, when to hire them, and when it's going to work for your business, just jump on bnbfastlane.com, join our community. You can ask us any questions, and we have our full org chart there for you to have a look at. The next step is beginning to automate your Airbnb business. As your business and your team grows, there can be a lot of moving parts, but don't get daunted by this. There's a lot of things that you can semi-automate, outsource, or even fully automate so that things can run on autopilot. So the first and easiest thing to automate generally is the key handover to guests. This is when guests actually arrive at the property and need to obtain keys to get access to the property. There are many different ways to do this, and even some services that will actually go to the property for you and meet guests and give them the keys. But generally, we try and avoid things like this because guests can arrive late, they can miscommunicate, they can arrive at different times, not find the address. Things happen. What we like to do is provide a way that guests can get access to the property at any time that suits them without us or anyone else having to be there. And the easiest and most simple way to do this is with something like a lockbox on site and a code that guests can use to get into it, or you can go as far as using smart locks for your door and sending them the code before they get there. For a full list of different options, just jump on bnbfastlane.com, join the community, and we've got all the resources in there for you to have a look at. Our preferred method that we used for most of our properties was just a simple lockbox with a code that guests can enter the code into, get the key out, and we've already sent them instructions on how to access the property.
Number 2, booking calendars. Once you have the properties doing well on one platform like Airbnb, you're going to want to branch out to other platforms to increase the revenue. This is best done by using a channel manager software. There are a lot of different channel manager softwares out on the market. If you have any questions about that, obviously you can go through and ask us through the community. There's several we recommend depending on your situation. In the community, we have discount codes and things like that. Feel free to go in there and grab those. Some popular ones include Hostaway, Guesty, Guesty for Hosts, Smoobu. There's 100 different options. Jump in the group and we'll be able to find one that suits your situation. Number 3, guest messaging. The goal with guest messaging is to try and automate as much as humanly possible, so you're not constantly messaging check-in instructions, check-out messages, check-out messages. If your automations are good and well set up, you'll be able to automate at least 80 to 90% of the day-to-day messages. This can be done through a channel manager software, and on occasion you can do this through the platform as well. Some main messages that we like to automate would be the check-in messages, bin day automations, and definitely the check-out method.
Another thing that you can and absolutely should automate are the cleaning schedules for your turnover staff. So scheduling and rescheduling your cleans and turnovers between guests can be a mess. And luckily, this can actually all be automated through your channel manager software or through specific cleaning schedule softwares that you can plug into your channel manager. The way that this works is generally that as soon as a booking is made or a booking is changed, your cleaning team will automatically be sent notifications by your software so that they can schedule the calendar themselves and know exactly when they need to be at the properties and when they shouldn't be at the properties. This alone is going to completely free you up, save you tons of time, and it's actually better for the cleaners as well because they can plan their schedule. They're not being dictated to by someone that's constantly changing the schedule. They can see it in advance, it's clear, they can get notifications, and it's just easier and better for everyone. So outside of the channel manager softwares, which will actually allow this feature, there are some specific ones for this. Some popular ones are things like Uberto, Jobber, Turno, and a couple of others. Another thing that can be automated, or at least semi-automated, are things like maintenance schedules for your properties. Some properties will require regular maintenance for things like the pools or the gardens and other things along those lines. You can automate these processes by creating a schedule for your staff to be able to attend the property, or like the cleaners, giving them access to your channel manager or notifications so that they know when they will be able to access the properties between guests, and then they can schedule the times that they're going to go there themselves.
Pricing your property. Managing property pricing is basically an entire career in itself. This is referred to as revenue management. This is where you implement dynamic pricing strategies depending on a number of factors for every single night of the year, 365 days in advance. We have several videos in the community on how to do this and different ways to go about it. But the biggest thing is, especially once you get to 5 properties, you need to start looking into hiring a team to do this for you. This will free up a lot of time that you can then focus on building your business. When starting out, when you have 1 to 5 properties, you will most likely have to do this yourself. Once you have over 5 properties, you can actually just send us a message. There is a company that we use. We can put you in contact with them. They might be able to help. Owner bookings and calendar management. Some of your owners will want to book time to stay at their properties. This can all be automated through your Channel Manager app. You just give them access and they block their own dates. When they book through the Channel Manager app, this is great. The cleaners know when to come in after, you know that they're going to be staying there, and everyone's informed of the stay. Property management and checks. Once you have a property manager, you can create SOPs, checklists, and all other different types of documents for your property manager to go through every single time they go through the property. This is how we make sure the property is looked after and everything's still in place. There are a lot more things you can do to automate your business and make things easier. These are just a few things that you can get started with that will help you grow.
Potential legal requirements that you should consider. With just about any business, there's various requirements, laws, and things like that that you should consider, and the Airbnb property management business is no different in this regard. Depending on how you decide to structure your business, you may need to have some things in place, particularly if you're handling the client's money before you pay them. You may need to have a license in place, or you may need to have other documents or legal certificates. This varies wildly for different countries and different areas, different states, even different places within states. You also just need to be aware of any potential local laws, local regulations, or things that might apply to short-term rentals, holiday rentals, or Airbnb management businesses in general in your area that you plan to operate. So given that these different things do actually vary country to country, state to state, area to area, we can only really speak in general terms about these things or about our own personal situation, but we'll quickly take you through a couple of those things now.
Local laws and regulations. Each country, state, and even city will all have different laws depending on which area it is. Some may even have no regulations at all. It really does change case to case. Some places will have laws around what type of homes can become Airbnbs, where you can and can't do it, how many days you're actually allowed to operate. It really depends on every area. The main thing you want to do is be informed and aware before you get started so there's no surprises when you do. Business and real estate laws. Depending on how you set up your business, you may need to look at getting a real estate license or even set up a trust account. There are some easy ways to avoid this, but as you get bigger, it may be a good idea to set these things up to protect yourself and your clients. When it comes to licensing and trust accounting, we do discuss this a lot more in the community. You can ask us questions there.
In our own specific example, we were operating in the Gold Coast, Australia, which is right on the border of another state. By simply being one side of that state line or the other, the different laws and the regulations around the short-term rental management business varied wildly. On one side, it was heavily regulated, heavily scrutinized, and in some cases very difficult to operate certain properties within the business. Just a few hundred meters or a kilometer past the state line on the other side, there was virtually no regulation, and it was super easy, straightforward, and virtually free to operate the business. This is just our own personal example, but a very good example of simply just being aware of any regulations and laws within the areas that you plan to operate, because it can change things a lot for you, for the better, for the worse. But in general, being informed means you know what you can and can't do ahead of time.
When you're at scale, automated, and potentially looking to sell the business. Many people start an Airbnb business, but only a small percentage are able to actually build, have success, and sell the business. Some of the major factors regarding this are time in the market, number of properties, how professional and well set up the business actually is, and how profitable the business is and the team involved.
When building any business, you should always have the end goal in mind, whether that's automating the entire business so that it runs without you having to be there and it's a cash flow situation, or a potential sale or acquisition. This doesn't mean that you need to build the business quickly and sell quickly like we did within a few years. Many accommodation companies operate for decades before they decide to make a sale or work with a merger or acquisition into a bigger company. The best businesses are generally always built on the fact that everything is outsourced and automated as much as possible. This is always more attractive to a potential buyer. If your business solely relies on yourself or just a few key people who need to be there operating the business all the time, then this really isn't an easily sellable asset. This is more of a job, even if it's a high-paying job. Until you can scale and automate and put a team in place so that the business can operate and ideally grow without you physically being there, it's not really a saleable asset. But once you do get these things in place, it becomes very attractive to potential buyers, mergers, and acquisitions. So one of the best and most famous examples of this is McDonald's. McDonald's may not be the fanciest burgers in the world, but their business model is incredibly well automated. So in this example, as a potential buyer, imagine yourself looking at various businesses. Would you rather buy a McDonald's franchise that you're almost certain is going to succeed in any market, whether you're physically there or not? It could be in the other side of the country, it could be in another country altogether, and it's just generating you cash flow because there's so many great systems in place that that business can run itself. Or contrast that with potentially purchasing a restaurant in your local town. It might be a mom and pop business that you're going to have to be involved in 24/7 dealing with things because the structure, the automations and the team just simply isn't in place. And if you're not there, it's not going to make money. As an investor or a buyer, even though McDonald's might not be the fanciest product in the world, if you're buying a business, it's a much more attractive option. And that's kind of the mindset that you should have around your Airbnb business. You want to build a great business, you want to give everyone a great experience, but ideally, you want to build a business that can be sold to anyone. So this has been a brief, broad strokes overview of how to get started with an Airbnb business, what things to look out for, how to build a team, how to automate it, and how to make your business a success. We really hope that you've got a lot of value from this video, and we're sure you're going to have a lot more questions, and we'd be happy for you to throw them at us so that we can get them answered for you. Just head to bnbfastlane.com and you can contact us there. The best way to do that is by joining the community and just getting in touch with us. Any questions you've got, throw them at us and we'll be happy to help out.